Every time I do look, in a mirror and I say, yeah, you suck.
Everybody knows who Arnold Schwarzenegger is, even if you're not into bodybuilding. Back in the 80s, he was like the ultimate muscle man, had that crazy Greek god look with massive pecs, huge arms, tiny waist, and veins popping all over. Super shredded and perfect. But you know, time catches up with all of us, and if you look at him now, it's kinda sad. He's lost all those gains, and he's just an older guy.
Look at those pectoral muscles that used to be firm and perky and kind of like really powerful with the striation in there. Now they're just hanging there. So it's sad also because, as I said to people, it's one thing to see yourself get older and more out of shape. But most of the people really never have been in shape. So what does it mean getting out of shape? They've always looked at the shitty body. So therefore it gets shitty as time goes on. It's just when you have been hailed for years as this supreme body, and you have the definition, and you see the veins coming down your abs, and you see veins on top of your chest. And now you cut, and you roll the clock forward 50 years, and now you're standing there, and you don't see that anymore. So that's kind of like, wow. I never ever thought about that when I was like 30 years old or 40 years old, that this is going to happen. It just sucks.
He is 76 years old now. Time waits for no one. It's not easy to embrace your own human side, is it? Especially when you once felt like you were as invincible as Superman.
I had the heart surgery. That's when I kind of, damaged goods. This is the first time where I felt kind of like vulnerable, where all of a sudden the doctor says, you shouldn't lift it heavy anymore. Or just pay attention when you breathe, when you exercise. Exhale, don't keep the air pressed inside because that is too much stress on your valves in your heart. And all of a sudden there was dialogue like that. Life is not anymore the same as when I was like 30 years old or 40 years old, where you could do anything and you never had to think about anything.
No matter how old Arnold gets, even with his injuries and past heart surgery, he still works out every day. He starts his day by hitting the gym in the morning, usually around 7 to 7:45, and then goes for a 45-minute bike ride. Sometimes he even does a second workout at night in his home gym. Nowadays, he's not into lifting super heavy weights anymore. After his heart surgery, he was told to stay away from those really heavy lifts and the whole maxing out at 3 reps thing. So now he's all about using lighter weights and doing more repetitions.
Done it all. Why do you still come to the gym?
For the same reason as why am I having breakfast today. I had breakfast yesterday, I had breakfast 10 years ago. Why am I still having breakfast? Why am I still sleeping?
Right.
I slept 20 years ago, I slept 10 years ago, so I'm still sleeping. Training is part of my life. I will be working out and I will be having a great time in the gym and I will be getting the pump and I want to feel good, and like I said, it's tough enough as it is with when you get older, but you have to hold on as much as you can.
As Arnold Schwarzenegger gets older, he's become more conscious about his health. Back in the day when he was young, he could get away with eating all sorts of stuff. But now, he's all about healthier choices. He's into things like oatmeal, greens, veggies, and nutritious foods. Arnold's cut back on meat and animal products because there used to be this idea that it was the only way to get big and strong. But he's realized that's not true. So he's changed his diet. And he feels way better eating all those greens. It's not that he hates other foods. He just avoids them for health reasons. He used to be known as a human garbage disposal because he could eat anything without getting sick. Seriously, anything. He'd go to a restaurant and ask for an omelet with whatever was lying around in the kitchen. If it was in the kitchen sink or on the kitchen floor, he'd say, "Scrape it up and toss it in. I'll love it." Even now, Arnold takes supplements to make sure he's getting all the necessary vitamins and stuff. But he's clear that they're meant to complement a good diet, not replace it. So the real deal is to focus on eating right. Natural foods, plenty of greens, fruits, and quality proteins.
You can only live longer and healthier if you're lean. Like I eat only 2 meals a day. I have breakfast and have dinner. I don't have lunch because the system just slows down and it just doesn't burn off the stuff that did well anymore.
In the 1980s, Arnold Schwarzenegger was like a real-life Greek god. He had the best physique in the world, and he was super confident, like an alpha male. Everybody who saw him was blown away by his massive, ripped physique covered in veins.
Bottom line is I'm 76 years old, I'm full of energy, I'm full of enthusiasm. I'm as enthusiastic and as excited as I was when I was 30 years old. I just always see mountains in front of me to be climbed. And so as long as I see those mountains, I keep my enthusiasm and I keep my excitement and that fire in the belly to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. And that's what it's all about.